Well, hello there, Trailblazers fans. Welcome into another edition of Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. You may be wondering, why is he starting with Somewhere Over the Rainbow by the wonderfully talented Is? It's because it is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Night here at the Trailblazers game. Myself, a proud Filipino Polynesian over here, just enjoying it and excited for it. You guys know me. Family hails from the Hawaiian Islands, and this is just, just takes me home. So I love AAPI night. I'll be rocking the bright Hawaiian shirt. So if you're at Moto tonight, come say hi. You can't miss me. And, of course, hopefully we're just enjoying an awesome, awesome game as the Blazers look to extend their streak to 5 wins in a row and 2 in a row over the Houston Rockets after picking up an impressive victory against them just 2 nights ago. If you want to join the conversation with us today, all you got to do is head to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, or hit us up on the text line. 88528 is that number. And if you're like me and you're a Duck fan, you're also locked into the Peach Bowl. Oregon taking on Indiana right now. A rough start for your Oregon Ducks as the very first play of the game was a pick six for Dante Moore. That does not happen very often at all. Indiana, though, with the 7-zip lead, plenty of game left. And you would hope that the Ducks can right this ship. That's why it's football. People get mad. Oh, gosh, it's over. They scored pick six first play. Watch out. You play 4 quarters for a reason. Whole lot of football left to play. Whole lot of basketball left to play, though. But we are getting closer and closer to the midway point of the season as we go. And the Blazers now at 18-20, just 2 games below 500, looking to continue to, again, get a couple wins together, have some great play, and solidify themselves as a play-in team. Still plenty that could go right, still plenty that could go wrong. One thing that is going right is maybe we're seeing some guys get back just a little bit healthier. Drew Holiday was listed as doubtful for this game, later downgraded to out, but that is a good thing. That is definitely a good thing because he had just been listed as out nonstop. Out, and then the change was seeing him listed as doubtful for tonight. Again, he is not playing, but that is definitely a sign of growing, if you will, and getting closer to a return. If he gets listed as doubtful, I mean, come on, it's not out till it was downgraded out. But again, you're seeing that progression. Also, earlier today, down there, saw Scoot Henderson, Jeremy Grant, and Matisse Thybulle all warming up. Of note, Matisse Thybulle moving pretty well, and remember he's dealing with the knee injuries and the pain in the knee. Jeremy Grant looked good. Scoot Henderson was taking some actual jump shots from 3-point range. Last time I saw him warming up, it was just flat-footed at the rim, maybe about 5 to 10 feet away, just doing a little jump here or there. With not a jump, excuse me, but just waist-up shots. So we're seeing a little bit more from him, which is good. Hopefully he will get closer and closer to gameplay as well, because the Blazers could use those reinforcements, and even without him, this team has found a way to win some ball games, and a lot of that has to do with the absolute incredible play that this team has seen from Deni Avdija over the last handful of games, and the game against Houston a few nights ago was no exception. Deni Avdija, an absolute massive performance. 41 points, 6 rebounds. He did have just 2 assists, but boy, he was in score mode and was doing everything the team needed to keep them in the game. And it was a game that came down to the wire, let me tell you what. I mean, it was a Kevin Durant missed jump shot away from going to overtime. Like, it was close. I guess it wasn't overtime, excuse me. It was game winning, excuse me. And then a tip in from Terry Eason, but it was after the buzzer. And the Blazers win 103-102. And for those of you keeping track, Oregon just marched right down the field. 3rd and 12, Dante Moore right across the middle. Touchdown Ducks. This game is tied 7-7 with 7:11 left to play. Buckle up, my friends, because methinks it's going to be a good football game. Now, back to the Trailblazers This game was very, very weird because if you look at some of the things they did in the box score, they should have got blasted. They should have been ran out of the gym. They were out rebounded by the Rockets 57 to 38. The Houston Rockets had 24 offensive rebounds. These two teams came in 1 and 2 in the NBA in offensive boards, and the Blazers were held to 6. 6 offensive boards, 24 for Houston, and they were able to take advantage of that. 23 second chance points for the Rockets to just 9 for the Portland Trailblazers. That alone, I'm sitting there going, holy smokes, they should have just been ran out of the gym. But you got a team in the Houston Rockets who came in shooting 38% from beyond the arc, which was top 5 in the NBA, and they shot just 8 of 36 in this one, 22%. The Blazers were 12 of 40, so they made 4 more than Houston. This was a game where that mattered. The free throws mattered for the Blazers. They were 19 to 25, so that was nice. That kept pace. And something we talked about early in the game was limiting the turnovers, and that was just the fact that you have to definitely do your best to not turn the ball over against this Houston Rockets team. And over the last 4 games, this Blazer team has been winning. The 9 rebounds against New Orleans was a season low. Then they had 11 against San Antonio, so close to that. And it was, 14 against Utah. And they were right back there at 14 today. But overall, that's still a low number. That's below their average. They needed to take care of the ball. They did. The interesting part here is that going into this game, the Blazers were 1 and 8 when the opposing team got 95 shot attempts or more, and Houston got 99 shot attempts in this one to just the 83 of Portland. So, again, you look at that, you're like, they had 16 more shots. They had almost 20 more rebounds. They had 18 more offensive boards. How did they not win this game? Well, I'll tell you why. Denny Avdija. Denny Avdija was huge. He did everything he could to make sure this team did everything needed to hold on to leads and weather the storms and the punches that Houston threw at them. Like I said, 41 points, 6 rebounds, 13 of 24 from the floor. He was on one. And the best part was he was dueling with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was 14 of 26 for 37 points. He was in rare form, too. You look at the individual box score on the Houston side of thing. Jabari Smith Jr. had 6 points. Steven Adams had 7 points, 24 points from Amen Thompson, 15 points from Tari Eason. Reed Shepard had 8 points. Dorian Finney-Smith had 3 on the Blazers side of things. It was 14 points from Toumani Camara, 15 if you count the tooth that he gave to the game as well. Took a shot as he going up. They're battling, takes a headbutt basically to the mouth, loses a chunk of his tooth, plays the rest of the game. Just goes down, picks it up off the court, hands it to the trainer, and gets back to action. As Coach joked after the game, it's going to have to go in the box, the defensive box, because it played well. Sidi Sissoko, he did have 0 points. He was starting for the injured Chris Murray, who was usually been starting for the injured Jeremy Grant. But he got in there, didn't get a lot of points, but defensively he looked good, ended up leaving the game with 6 fouls, as did Toumani Camara. 12 points from Donovan Clingan, and they're going to have him show up in a big way tonight on the glass. He had 7 rebounds total, 1 offensive rebound, so didn't play to his strengths. And it wasn't necessarily his fault. I mean, you're getting Steven Adams in there, who's an absolute monster on the glass. You have Clint Capella, who can still push you around. They had 3 players, the Rockets did, with 11 or more boards. Adams, Thompson, and Eason, 11, 12, and 13, respectively. And there was multiple times in this game where Steven Adams showed Donovan Clingan, and he showed Robert Williams, and he showed Young Hansen grown man strength because they couldn't move him. He's an absolute rock. So they need to show up, the Blazers do, on the defensive boards today. Really, really go to work there. You need more from D.C. Denny Avdija, like I said, 41 points. Incredible. Shaedon Sharpe, 20 points, and 10 points off the bench for Caleb Love. So it was really a weird game because you look at that box score and everything says that they should have lost that game. Like I said, 16 more shots for the Rockets, 20 more rebounds, 20 more offensive rebounds, the 23-9 in second chance points. They should have won. They should have won. but they didn't. The Blazers didn't let them. They answered every shot that they needed to with shots of their own, and defensively were locked in. Because even though Houston took 16 more shots, they only made one more. The difference in that one is the fact that the Blazers made 4 more three-pointers. That has a lot to do with it. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to join the conversation, just head to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, join the conversation there. And, of course, you can go hit us up on the text line 88528. And on YouTube, Dirt Mock Fritz, he says, I like the hibiscus background. The aloha is strong tonight. That is right. We are spreading the aloha tonight. I have a college football 26 dynasty with a couple Blazers fans who you'll often see in the chat, and I am the University of Hawaii, and I title every single stream that I do. You can follow me on Twitch, Captain Chaos F5, but I title every single stream I do as, whatever game it is, spreading aloha to Alabama or whoever I'm playing. All about the aloha tonight here, because it is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Night here at the Moda Center for this game tonight. Plenty of stuff going on around the concourse, special halftime performance, all of that to support the Asian American Pacific Islander community here in the Pacific Northwest. But this is Blazers Game Day. I am your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to follow me on social media, Chris J. Burkhardt is the name. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this Blazers team, this Rockets team, obviously, because it is going to be a little deja vu. You get to play the same team 2 games in a row. How does that impact how you approach this? And then, of course, we'll get to the Coach's Corner in a little bit as well. All here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you, getting you ready for Rockets versus Blazers here. Second matchup between these two in a row, and the Blazers looking to improve to 3-0 on this homestand, extend their win streak to 5. It's going to be a tall task, though, against the Rockets team that played very, very well against them just 2 nights ago, and the Blazers are going to have to play similar to that. That defense is going to have to be locked in. That was the difference in that game. That defense played so well. I said Tumani's tooth was put in the box. That's how good they were. But you got to play well against this team to have a chance. And defensively is where it's gonna start. Offensively, as you saw, the Blazers can struggle at times. It was working against the team, but defensively is where it's won or lost. Speaking of defense, Ducks defense, first time on the field because Dante Moore threw a pick 6 on the first play of the game, and they could not stop Indiana. Indiana marches right down the field, scores, and takes the 14-7 lead in the Peach Bowl. A trip to the national championship and a matchup with Mario Cristobal, former Oregon head coach, and the Miami Hurricanes on the line right now. So there you go. There you go. All right, if you want to join the conversation, youtube.com is one way. Just type in Rip City Radio or go to our text line and text 88528 to send your thoughts there as well. And if you're looking on the YouTube stream, you see the Hawaiian theme and the Hawaiian shirts because it is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Night here at Moda. They have special auctions going on, a special halftime show, different things you can do throughout the concourse, including the 360 photo booth at section A18 and different Micronesian island community stuff going on at section C24. So plenty of stuff going all the way around here at Moda Center. Like I said, special halftime performances, pregame parades, and different stuff throughout the game to celebrate the Asian American Pacific Islander community here in the Pacific Northwest. So a very good game, as you guys know. A proud Islander. My family came to Oregon from Hawaii, so it's a very fun night for me, and I hope everyone enjoys it as well. If you see the bright purple and pink Hawaiian shirt, come say hi. I'm easy to spot. Now, this game tonight, we talked about, again, the Blazers need to have a wonderful defensive game, and that's what beat the Houston Rockets. Defensively, they were locked in. Tumani Kamara felt like he had a bit of a throwback game where he was relied upon to do so much. He did foul out. Of course, the NBA did send out their last 2-minute report, said that last foul shouldn't, or I guess his 5th foul shouldn't have been called. Therefore, he wouldn't have fouled out at the end of the night. But defensively, I thought he was locked in. I thought Ryan Rupert played a good possession there, that final possession against Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant almost made the shot, but Ryan Rupert, who's not usually put in those situations, I thought played well and made the shot tough. The only thing is with Kevin Durant, a tough shot is still a makeable shot for Kevin Durant because he's just that filthy on the offensive side. Luckily, they missed it, and even more so, lucky that Tari Eason missed the tip in by literal just 0.1 second. His hand is still touching the ball as the buzzer sounds because he tipped it in, and it looked like a Rockets game winner on what would have been, there it is, an offensive rebound again on a night when the Rockets had 24 of them. It dooms them because the Blazers couldn't box out, but it was for naught. It was after the buzzer, and the Blazers picked up the victory, got out of there very by the skin of their teeth, or the skin of Tumani Kamara's missing tooth. Like that's how close that game was. And again, defensively, I thought they were locked in. Offensively, they did what they needed to do. And Denny Avdia, man, we gotta start talking about him not as being an all-star, but is this guy gonna get to the point where he's getting consideration for all NBA teams? Because he's on an absolute tear right now, averaging 27 points or so, and I mean that 41-point performance was incredible. I mean, to go toe-to-toe with Kevin Durant is something else. That's superstar level stuff, and you absolutely have to give him credit for that. Like I said, he's been so darn good for his career. Denny Avdia, he's averaging 12.7 points, 3.6 rebounds, 3.2 assists. This season, 26.3 points, 7.2 rebounds, 7 assists. He's almost averaging a triple-double. He's getting into that category, and he's winning these games for the Blazers. Over his last 5 games, he did have a 17-point performance against Oklahoma City, where everyone was pretty bad. But you look at this 4-game stretch where they've won these games, 34 against New Orleans, 29 against San Antonio, 33 against Utah, and then 41 against Houston. That game against San Antonio was a 29-point, 10 rebound, 10 assist triple-double. In New Orleans, it was a 34-point, 11 assists, 7 rebound, double-double. And he almost pulled off a triple-double against Utah, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and those 33 points. The only game that was the outlier was the 2 assists against Houston 2 nights ago. So you would like to get some more assists going there. You like it when he does that. It's not very often he has those 2 assist nights. He did have 5 turnovers. So when you have 5 turnovers and 2 assists, you don't like that ratio. But he can get that up. He can get better on that end. But at that point, we're just nitpicking Denny because he's been absolutely incredible over this stretch. And so, like I said, you got to get to the point where you got to start talking like all NBA teams. Is he a second team, third team, or a first team all NBA? Because right now you can look at those standings, and the Blazers are sitting at 18-20, 2 games below 500. The team just ahead of them is the Warriors, who are 20-18. They're literally the gap right now between above 500 and below 500. It's 8-9, the Warriors and the Trailblazers. And the fact that the Blazers have 18 wins can largely be attributed to Denny Avdia's play. He's been so darn good. As Sean says, Denny should get MVP votes this year. That's that's not wrong. That's absolutely not wrong. He is doing something special right now, and we're just all witness to it. Sean also asked, is Dame going to be the first Blazer back from injury? I don't think so. I don't think so, Sean. He's not going to play this year. But in case you missed it, did see a little bit of an injury update going out today. First off, Drew Holiday was listed as doubtful, which doesn't seem like a lot because that means he's probably not going to play. He was later downgraded out. But he hasn't been listed as anything other than out since he went out over a month ago. So that's progress. Now, warming up today, there was Jeremy Grant and Matisse Thybulle and Scoot Henderson out on the court, all moving well. Jeremy Grant looked good. Matisse Thybulle was moving well, considering he's dealing with a little bit of a knee ailment. And I thought the biggest one was Scoot Henderson, who was taking some actual jump shots outside the arc. And last time we saw him warm up before the game, it was just upper body. There was no jumping. There was no leaving the ground. It was just straight up, plant those feet, work everything, hips and above, work on that shot. No, he was taking some actual jump shots out in the corner. So that's good to see. I think they'll be back. Hopefully, we're going to get at least one of those guys back, one of those 4 guys who have been out before the month of January is done. And I want to see it for various reasons. You want to see the team healthy, right? You want to see some point guards back. But B, I just really want to see Scoot Henderson play. I want to see how much improvement he has made. I know that he was a big talk of the town in the offseason, how good he has improved, how much he's improved, and how much they can rely on him, and how he's kind of taken that leap. That was something that Chauncey Billups was talking about heading into the season. So I want to see Scoot Henderson. I want to see what he looks like now. Like that's more important to me than just getting a point guard. Even though getting a point guard back would be nice, I just want to see Scoot Henderson. I think they'll be back soon enough. But you're also right. Yeah, Denny's got to get those MVP votes too. And if he's in that conversation, that's absolutely massive. Absolutely massive, because he's been special. He's been special. And to the point that Sean just made in the YouTube chat too, like I think what's more important, and this is where I was debating with a fan the other day about Denny Avdia, and he has too many turnovers. I want to see him get that down. And I'm like, well, he's also not a point guard. Like, he's not usually in this position where he has the ball in his hand this much. He's been thrust into this. This is the guy who started the year as a power forward for you, and now here he is basically running the offense. And you see a massive dip in how the offense moves when he subs out, which is why Tiago Splitter plays him closer to that 40-minute a night threshold, because they need him. So if you get Drew and Scoot back, you just get guys who can run the offense, which means you can afford to take Denny out. And then you'll probably be like, oh, no, we're seeing a dip because he's not scoring as much, or his assist numbers are down. That's a good thing, because now you're going to get more quality over the quantity, right? And you're gonna let Scoot and you're gonna let Drew take over, and you're still gonna put the ball in Denny's hands and let him go to work. But getting a break is absolutely incredible, as Sam says in the chat. Or is it really Sam? Ha ha ha. Here you'll be at the game. That's nice. But with the new format, Denny could be the 5th starter on the international squad. Denny's he's going to be an all-star. It's just, and that's kind of crazy to think about. Like, did Washington think they were trading an all-star? I don't think they did. I definitely don't think they did. But here we are, and he's playing absolutely outside his mind. Outside his mind. And if you want to be irritated, outside your mind, or happy, depending on how you view it, Oregon has to punt on 4th down. And they actually punt. Dan Lanning did not go for it on 4th and 3. So he's learned to be a little more cautious. Understand these possessions matter right now. Ball within the 20. Indiana's going to take over. Big possession here for this Duck defense. Can they stop Indiana? And we talked about it a little bit with Chad. Like, if Indiana wins this game, as a major Duck fan that I am, you just got to tip your hat to them, because, boy, howdy, that is a talented team, incredibly well coached. So is Oregon. A lot of game left. All right, we're going to take a break here on Game Day. When we come back, going to continue to talk about this Houston team. May hear from Coach Tiago Splitter. I'll touch base with my producer here in a second. But regardless, we're going to continue to get you ready for Blazers versus Rockets round 2 here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. here with you, getting you ready for this game. Time now to head to the coach's corner. We're going to head back to that post game after the last game against the Rockets. Hear what head coach Tiago Splitter had to say following that victory.
Them, how we, follow the game plan again, how physical we were trying to fight them. It's a super hard team to box out, to defend with a guy like Kevin Durant. So, it was a team effort, and I think for the most part we were very good defensively. So, basically that.
What did you think with the Easton tip in watching it late? Could you tell, or live, could you tell it was late?
I couldn't see it. Actually, I saw the replay on the big monitor, and I thought it was a good basket because it was like a split of a frame. So, and then I asked the video guy, and he said that he thought that, it was off time. So just wait there, and but it was a very close one, crazy.
You talked about your heart rate going up during some of these tight games. Do you have an estimate right there for that one?
I think the drama there was at the maximum. But again, compete like that with a team like the Rockets, a team that is put together to win a championship, you gotta be proud. It's not like we are satisfied. A lot of season to go, but we gotta be proud of what the guys are. Every night they're proving, to get better, to develop, the spacing, those games and in basketball games.
Were you surprised that that foul at the end was overturned again?
Watched the play yet? I thought it was weird, but.
How would you describe Denny's performance tonight?
I mean, it's kind of like what he's doing the whole season, right? Being aggressive, getting to the rim, putting, a lot of pressure on the other team defense. Shot 15 free throws, but really going strong, using his body, his speed, and throwing defense out of sync.
Did Tumani lose a tooth?
He did.
Was it just like a chip or a whole tooth, or what? Do you know that?
I don't know exactly, but he was amazing. He had 11 deflections, I don't know how many turnovers. Lost a 2. I think the 2 is going to be on the box now, they say.
So he comes over and he hands her the tooth. What was the interaction between you guys with him?
I figured out that he lost the 2 after the game, but again, it's really hard to guard Kevin. So much talent, and I think we did a good job overall, and the rest of the guys just staying in gaps and helping and trying to box out Steven Adams. It was a team effort, like I said.
You guys have had some issues at times this season closing out games. How do you feel like you guys were able to do that tonight?
I think we made some mistakes. I think we were up 7, I think, and Kevin got a couple N1s there. Then he was aggressive, got an N1 too. It's tricky when it's a player like that. You got a little bit bad on what you do defensively. If you put 2 guys on him and you let another guy open, I felt like that play, the last shot that Kevin shot, we have 2 on him and led to an offensive rebound. Luckily, it was off time, but that's what you had to do when you have a player like that in front of you.
How did you win this game with 6 offensive rebounds? That has been so out of character for you guys tonight.
Honestly, I don't know. I got to go check again on the film, but, I guess just shot a little bit better. And that's it.
And there you hear from head coach Tiago Splitter. And a couple things to note. Obviously, I love you. I didn't see the play. It was a little crazy. That was that whole play to Caleb Love, where I thought he was fouled when the Rockets tipped the ball and then kind of pushed him out of bounds. It was a weird little play, but he was in good spirits overall, and they won the game, which is awesome. And I want to get to a point that Freya and me made in the YouTube chat, and that was turnovers per minute ratio. Luka Doncic 0.126, Jaylen Brown 0.109, Giannis 0.111, etc. Denny Avdia 0.109. So his turnovers are really not that bad concerning the usage and time played. And I was getting into this debate with a fan the other day because they're really upset with Denny's turnovers, and I just don't see the massive issue with it because, again, the usage and the fact that the ball's put into his hands so much. And if you are one of the best players in this league, you're going to turn the ball over. Do you know that of the top 20 players in this league right now in turnovers, let's see, all but 2 of them average 3 or more. The 20th and 19th right now are Anthony Edwards and Steph Curry, who average 2.9 turnovers per game. Then you got Shaden Sharp at 18th, who averages 3. Kevin Durant averages 3.1. Keyshawn George, who's having a hell of a year, averages 3.1. Donovan Mitchell, 3.2. Alfred Şengün, 3.3. Russell Westbrook, 3.3. He does have the ball in his hands a ton. Devin Booker, 3.4. LaMelo Ball, 3.4. Keontae George averaging 3.5. He's the one who's having the heck of a year, not Keyshawn George. But Nikola Jokic, 3.5. James Harden, 3.5. Jalen Johnson, 3.6. Jaylen Brown, 3.7. And then there's Denny at 3.8. Number 1 in the league is Luka Doncic at 4.6. Now, he's known to turn the ball over because it's just kind of always something he's done. But you look at the who's who right here in the top 20 players in most turnovers per game. Luka, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, James Harden, Nikola Jokic, Devin Booker, Alfred Şengün, Donovan Mitchell. These are all all-star players, all NBA-type players. So why are we so upset that Denny's in there? It's okay. It's okay. Speaking of upset, my friends, if you want to see a grown man cry, just watch me here in a minute. The Oregon Ducks did force a 4th down in Indiana. Indiana punted the ball. Dante Moore fumbles the ball. Indiana takes over 1st and goal on the 3-yard line. One play later, they're on the 2-yard line. They're about to score and will likely go up 21-7 with about 9 minutes left in the first half. I told Chad when I talked to him earlier, cannot shoot yourself in the foot against this Indiana team. Dante Moore has a pick 6, and Dante Moore has a fumble that gave Indiana the ball in a goal-to-go situation. The fumble was a weird little goes to pass the ball, hits his running back who's back there looking to block, and fumbles the ball. Indiana takes over. Indiana, did they score? They did not. Oregon stops them on the half-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal coming up. So, again, if you want to see a grown man cry, just watch me watch this game because it's starting to not look good for my Oregon Ducks. We're so close, friends. We're so close. Those turnovers worry me more than Denny Avdia's turnovers, I'll tell you that much. Denny can turn the ball over and score 41 points. I'm okay with that. But I need Oregon to handle their business. What are we doing? Get your stops, get some scores. And there was not the stop. Indiana in the end zone. It is 20-7. PAT pending. All right, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to have to go to the restroom, grab a tissue, wipe some tears. When we come back, it's time for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to get a victory over the Houston Rockets? I will let you know here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Time now for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do against this Houston Rockets team to get another upset and, and extend this win streak to 5? It'd be awful nice to do, but it was a good one to grab that victory 2 nights ago, but there was a lot that the Blazers did well, but there was a lot that they didn't do well that I think if you repeat that exact same process tonight, that Houston will beat you. So Houston, keep in mind, came in to that game, comes into this game shooting 38% from beyond the arc, which is 4th best in the NBA right now. Now, they don't take a lot of three-pointers. They actually only take 30.7, which is the second fewest in the league, but they make them at a high clip when they do. And our key to the game last game was to watch that three-point line, do the best you can to defend it, because, again, they hit their open shots. They didn't in that game. They had a lot of open shots, and they missed them. They shot 22% from beyond the arc. I do not see them doing that 2 games in a row against this defense. So the key then becomes the defensive rebounding, because 3-point shots tend to lead to those long rebounds. And, again, the Houston Rockets absolutely demolished the Blazers on the glass. 24 offensive rebounds. They had 57 rebounds in total to just 38 for your Portland Trailblazers. And the Blazers came in as a top defensive rebounding team, offensive rebounding team, and they only had 6. In fact, as we mentioned before, Houston is the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the league, and the Trailblazers are number 2. Well, the Blazers got 8 fewer than their average, while the Rockets got 8 more than their average. So just, you can't do that. You have got to clean the glass. This team will kill you if you don't. Take care of what you need to take care of. Box out, get up, get boards. Now, if I sound a little distracted, it's because I am, because the Ducks, they are a struggling sack, 4th and long, and the Ducks are forced to punt. They are getting handicapped right now by the fact that they don't have a run game. They just don't have a run game. And Indiana's doing exactly what they did in the first matchup. They're mixing up their coverages. They are giving this line fits. And it might get uglier before it gets prettier, I'll tell you that much. Because Oregon does not look very good right now. Indiana is taking it to them. Now, back to this game. Again, you got to take care of the glass. Got to rebound the basketball. And you can't let them go and hit you like they did last time. To have the other team go get 20 more rebounds, you got to at least do your best to keep it close. Otherwise, you're just going to be in an uphill battle. Because it put the Rockets in a position to get those second chance points, which they did outscore the Blazers 23-9 in second chance points. Could have been more, quite honestly, and it was what put them in position to get those 3-point shots. They just didn't hit them. So they're going to get their rebounds. They're going to get their shots. Odds are they hit them on this night. So you also got to be locked in defensively. But this game is going to be, I really think, won and lost on the defensive glass tonight for the Trailblazers. They cannot afford to let the Rockets go out and get another 24 offensive rebounds. The other thing is I really, really liked how the Blazers were able to take care of the ball. The 14 turnovers is below their average, which I will take that all day long. The Blazers average the most turnovers in the league at 16.9, but over this 4-game stretch, they have been below that average every single game. I'll do that again tonight. At that same token, defensively, which is what kept you in the game 2 nights ago, do that again. Force those turnovers, because the Rockets do come into this game number 2 in the NBA, or 29th, depending on how you look at it, with the most turnovers at 16 per. So, if you're the Blazers, defense won you the game last time, it's going to have to win you the game again tonight. The only difference is you got to be better on the glass. The glass absolutely killed you, and if Houston did not have one of those rare off nights from beyond the arc, they probably would have won that game. probably would have won that game. The Blazers improved to just 2-8 when their opposition gets 95 or more field goal attempts. So you got to do your best to limit that as well. But how do you get those extra field goal attempts? You get those offensive rebounds. You get those second chance opportunities. You got to limit those against this team because Houston is just too good. They're too good for you to let them get that dominant on the glass and not take advantage of it 2 games in a row. So if you're the Blazers, lock in. Grab that Mr. Clean. Grab that Windex. Get to cleaning. Clean that glass. All right, once again, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt. You can also join the conversation. YouTube.com is one way to do so. Sean says Adams is a beast. He absolutely is. He showed last game that he still has grown man strength. He does not move. Tiago Splitter was asked about it after the game, and he was talking because he played against him, and he's like, yeah, I learned what grown man strength was when I played against Steven Adams. And watch him set picks in this game, too. He sets a pick as good as any big will set a pick, man. He does not move. He is both the unstoppable force and the immovable object at times. He's incredible. Freya and me asked, do you think DC will becoming extra aggressive today after getting humbled on the glass? It's not that I think he got humbled on the glass. I just think he's playing against a team that's really good. And Steven Adams, I don't know if he was, yeah, they played before, but Steven Adams is a different beast. And I think what you need to do if you're DC is understand that you may not have Steven Adams' strength, but you're a big dude who can move bodies too. So you need to do that. You need to move him around, be aggressive on the glass. See what happens. All right, it's time to get out of here. Don't go anywhere, because coming up next, Curtis Long has your Trailblazers pregame show across the Trailblazers audio network. And then Travis Demers takes over on the call. 7 o'clock tip, Blazers Rockets right here on Rip City Radio. And, of course, what's all said and done, it's the 5th quarter where hopefully we're breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Rip City, I'll talk to you after the game.